Alright, guys, it's finally time. Here are my Avengers rankings from worst to best. Coming in at last place, Avengers Age of Ultron. There's been some talk about this movie being better than the first Avengers movie, a little bit better than people remember it. I kind of disagree. I thought the entire ending sequence was very, kind of just boring. They fought the Shatari in the first one, and then they just fought the Ultron bots in the second one. It got very repetitive, very boring. I thought the best scene in this movie by far was the dinner party scene, but again, just not. This movie had a lot of potential. I thought the trailer was good, but Ultron, the best part was James Spader's voice, but Ultron wasn't as menacing as he should have been. Again, not a bad movie, but just not as good as the other three. As much as it pains me, I'm going to have to put the Avengers at number three. This movie, especially if you're a little bit younger and weren't really old enough to remember, this movie was a huge deal when it came out, obviously, but particularly around getting all the characters in the same movie. People forget how big a deal it is to see all these characters in the same movie. Growing up, I mean, even to get a scene or a cameo, you'd get lucky. My biggest critique of this movie is that it looks a little bit like a CW show. There's a bunch of scenes, especially when Cap is on the ground giving orders, that look cheap, but there's just so much epic. I mean, this might even be in my top 10 MCU movies, so it just shows you how good the Avengers movies are. I think the scenes where Cap and Tony are kind of arguing are great. This is the best Hulk movie by far. This is the best the Hulk has ever been in the MCU. He's menacing. They're all scared of him. Even Thor is scared of him. So I love this movie. It's just not as good as the other two. Coming in at number two, Avengers Endgame. I know I'm going to get some disagreement here, but I think Infinity War is the much better movie. Obviously, the Avengers Assemble scene is great. I love this movie as well. There's some minor nitpicks, but again, I think it's great overall. When you consider the fact that it's spun off Loki, I think that gives it even more credit. But I just thought Infinity War is a better movie top to bottom, which I'll get into. Favorite parts of this movie, I was just the end. I think that's everyone's favorite part. I loved the middle part of the movie dragged a little bit, but that's just the nature of it being kind of more of a sadder movie. No real huge gripes. I just think it's not as good as Infinity War. And coming in at number one, I think possibly the greatest comic book movie ever. Yes, including The Dark Knight, Infinity War. The way that people take this movie for granted, even just a few years later, is crazy. It's nearly a perfect movie from start to finish. It has a perfect ending. They let the villain win. They let Thanos be powerful. They let people die. Not only die in terms of dusting, but actual characters died, like Loki, like Gamora. Perfectly seamless transition of the characters. No matter which character you was, everyone got their shine. The Thor storyline was kind of its own thing. They had Cap doing its own thing. The only person who had really a bad performance just in terms of what he did was Vision, who Vision was just getting ragdolled the entire movie. But I think Infinity War is possibly the best movie Marvel's ever done. Again, I just think it's nearly a perfect movie. I can't believe how many people have a problem with it. But those are my four Avengers movie rankings. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you agree, disagree, those are my thoughts. I'll do a deeper review of all four movies and maybe even a watch-along commentary on all four. But I just wanted to get you guys this before Thanksgiving. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.